much like Harry Potter had some sort of a weird Goblet of Fire tournament or something.
Yeah.
The state of Wyoming needs the Goblet of Fire 6A, 6-man tournament where just all of the classes are battling it out.
And how you liking week 5? You feeling good about week 5?
Big high five for week 5. Week 4 was garbage. No, I'm just kidding.
You know who liked week 4 though? Little Snake River. When we're talking about the 6th man in Wyoming high school football, there is no team that might be as storied as the Little Snake River. What are they? Vipers? Snakes?
Yeah. Well, yes, the rattlesnakes, right? Rattlers. Yeah.
There you go.
The West Texas rattlesnakes in Wyoming.
Well, Little Snake River. You want to crown them? Crown them. We're crowning them. They're at the top of the 6th man. Next you have Encampment. Encampment had a massive win. How many times do you see 82 points put up?
That's
82
big.
points against Casper.
I see it every week with Little Snake River.
Hey, last week they only scored 71. You know, that Forest and Eden matchup. Apparently they got their shake before the game.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't score over 80 points.
Held them under 80. That's a win.
There you go. Right. After that, we have Midwest at number 3, and we think that Midwest, the Oilers, are getting disrespected in the rankings. Coaches' polls have Burlington in number 3, and we have Burlington in the top 5. They're number 5 this week. But the Oilers are just getting absolutely disrespected. They're 3-1. They're playing good ball. The only loss comes to Hannah, and you know the Miners over there. They just come out and they put a world of hurt on people. So we have the Oilers at number 3, Mike.
Midwest is mid-best at number 3.
All right. Yeah. Mid-best. Number 4, Meteetse.
Yeah.
Now, there's a huge matchup this week we'll talk about a little bit later, but number 4 is Meteetse. Number 5 is Burlington, making it back into the Buford Sports rankings, Mike.
Yeah, the Burlington boys bouncing back. Don't count them out yet.
I'll tell you right.
Yeah.
We're also out in the middle of, like, the prairie, it feels like. It might as well be with the howling wind. This is the only way you film in Buford Sports, okay? Actually not number. In the 9-man, Mike, we have...
That's a number.
9-man, we have Lingle, Fort Laramie still at the number 1 position. They just continuously just dominate teams. They beat Wright last week, 49-0. Just a shutout, man. You know, whatever. And then after that, Pine Bluff at the number 2 spot still. They had a 63-0 victory over South High's JV. That's a huge win for them, especially as a 9-man squad. After that, we have some shifts because our Southeast Cyclones, the Yoder boys, they got Elon Lusk. Right? Upset, yeah. It was a close game. It came down to the final minutes. But we have in the 3 spot Saratoga now. Okay, number 4. We'll keep Southeast because of how they played last year, and also just, you know, that's a tough loss, right? So we still have Southeast over Lusk, but Lusk's making it into the 5th spot. Any comments on this right now, Mike?
Luskatonians bringing some heat right now. Be ready. Lusk is coming around in the second half of this season. Watch out.
Yeah. Niobrara County, you got to watch out for them. Okay, going down to the 2-man, or 2A. Yeah. That would be great football. That is super like Ohio drill. Or Oklahoma drill.
Ohio drill, yes.
Hey, you know
making up new... We're going to go Ohio drill on this segment. Keep it going.
All right, Mountain View. We have Mountain View as number 1. We've had them up top the whole year. From
the peak.
Just going to say, yeah, exactly. They got the views from the mountaintop. It's kind of like, God, you want to talk about the Mountain West Conference. They need to adopt Mountain View as their, like, high school.
You
know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
All right.
Prime.
They had a huge win last week. You want to talk about shutouts? They had a 49-0 win over Kemmerer. And then after that, Bighorn, number 2, they had a 49-7 win over Bern. Again, justifying our top of Mountain View on top, because guess what? Bighorn gives up points. Mountain View doesn't. That's why they're at the top spot. They gave up a couple of points. Yeah, I think that those two schools are coming down in the 2A to a showdown. We'll call it. I'm telling you. Yeah, the Bighorns roam on the Mountain View. X Factor.
Yeah.
Big X Factor, though, okay?
Yeah.
We give Lovell the respect they deserve. The coaches don't.
The love.
Yeah. We have Lovell, and we've had Lovell at the number 3 spot since the beginning of the season. Lovell still having a huge win over Thermop. They basically turned the the hot springs against Thermopylae, cooked them.
Yeah.
And they had a huge win, 42 points they put up on Thermopolis, Mike.
I'm leveling it. Shout out to McDonald's.
All right, so this is where we differ. This is where we differ.
I got a free cone the other day. That's their corporate
They
sponsor.
need to bring Monopoly back. That's the only time I go there. All right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, bring it back.
Bring back
I
Monopoly.
want to peel stuff.
You know how many times I
Yeah.
got Parks Place? Or Park Place or whatever?
Yeah, how many times do you get Boardwalk?
None! But
Zero.
you know how excited it made me? I'm like, oh, I got Park Place.
Oh, yeah.
I got the Park Place.
Yeah, the only thing better than eating a supersized fry was peeling that off and
You got
getting
two
Park
of them.
Place.
Yeah, you got to supersize just to
Yeah.
get the extra,
Exactly.
extra Monopoly pieces.
Yep.
All right, Worland, we have them at number 4. Coaches polls have them at 3, but we have them at number 4. And then Cokeville, 51-8 over Pinedale last week.
It's big.
They make their way into the top 5.
Some score discrepancies. I told you that week 4 was...
It was crazy.
It was weird.
It was crazy. I didn't do so great last week in the pick'ems.
Yeah.
All right, now 3A, we have Star Valley still just putting worlds of hurt on everybody in that league. Star Valley, a 55-7 win over Jackson. McClure has 3 touchdowns in that matchup. Okay.
Yeah. I want to see Star Valley versus Sheridan, Dirk. I'm just going to say it.
All right, back to the 3A. Okay, Cody. Cody wins the Bighorn showdown. Unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of that one.
Yeah.
They have a dominating win over the Bighorn rivalry. There, Powell loses 55-14 to Cody. We still have Cody in the 2 spot, and then after that, we have Powell in the 3 spot, and there's a reason for this. Riverton also lost last week, but we're not changing the ranking. They're still number 4. Buffalo, big win last week, 55-21 over Rollins. They are in the 5th slot. Okay.
But I want to make the point here, Dirk, as you gather your thoughts, that I think that much like Harry Potter had some sort of a weird Goblet of Fire tournament or something.
Yeah.
The state of Wyoming needs the Goblet of Fire 6A, 6-man tournament where just all of the classes are battling it out. It's kind of like the NBA had the in-season tournament last year.
Yes.
I want to see Little Snake River go up against Sheridan in 6-man.
Dude, I'm all for it.
See
And
what
you know
goes
what?
on.
Put it as in addition to the Shrine Bowl. The week after the Shrine Bowl, maybe the week before the Shrine Bowl. Doesn't matter to me, but just have inter-class. You have to go down to the 6-man format.
Oh, yeah.
So take your best 6 men from each of those squads, and it's time to go over to Laramie and find out who is king of Wyoming
the
football.
Buford Sports Net Bowl. Let's do it in the parking lot right here. This is just let them run it.
Hey,
Yeah.
You know what? Where can we do this? You know where we can do this? Miller Field.
Yep, the side of the turkey bowl.
Historic Miller Field.
Watch out for the goose poop. All right, it's 4A.
4A. All right.
Yeah.
Our top 2 aren't going to surprise anybody. Sheridan still on their winning streak this week.
Yeah.
Going down for the homecoming matchup, which we'll have on the NFHS Network. You'll hear us commentating that one live. Sheridan, 56-0 win over number 5, Kelly Walsh last week. Mike, how do you feel about it?
There's, I mean, okay, I'm not going to discount Chad Goff and his team. I think the East is still a very good team with some good players. With that said, no one is touching Sheridan this year.
It's
I don't think so.
It's insane.
I don't think so. With that said, Dirk, now East got the win, but I nearly called that upset. Natrona came down to an extra point. Give credit where it's due. East blocked it. So you've got 2 very competitive schools there. I think 2 through 4 is very competitive between those schools.
I wouldn't even say 2 through 5.
Yeah.
I just think Sheridan's head and shoulders above everybody. So, number 2, we have Campbell County.
Yeah.
Right? And that showdown later in the season is going to be wild. That's going to be the battle of the unbeatens, I think.
Can anyone touch the Drubik's Cube?
It's going to be either... Man, it's going to be an offensive just showdown in that one. But anyways, number 2, Campbell County, we have East eking its way into the 3rd spot here in a really tight victory over Natrona. That's why they're in the 3 spot. Natrona, Harshman's boys, number 4. And then Kelly stays in the 5th slot. Look, you go up and you lose to Sheridan. The shutout's not great, but you lost to a team that hasn't lost in like years. So I think that's an acceptable loss to stay in the top 5.
How old were we when Sheridan? Were we in our 30s? I think we were in our 30s, but it's close. Yeah, Sheridan has been winning for a long time.